Alright boys, we actually have quite a beautiful day today in Washington, and we're going to the shop because your boy's a little too jacked for this thing. I have been working out, and apparently my biceps are just massive now because I ripped my e-brake cable in half the other day. That's not all. And now I have no e-brake. But fortunately yesterday I was able to go grab an e-brake cable from Lexus that is going to allow me to not have to park the IS like that anymore. But I don't want to do it on the ground, so I'm going to the shop and I'm going to put this thing on the lift. So we're at the shop, but we got a slight issue. The 2-post has an R32 on it. So we gotta move the R32 and hopefully be able to get the IS300 up here. And I just realized that I drove my car super hard all the way over here, and I have to be working right in this area, which I don't know exactly what it looks like, but hopefully my exhaust is not too much of an issue when I'm doing that. It'll have some time to cool off a little bit. It should be comfortable. It should be comfortable by the time that I bring it in, but I'm gonna get this thing pushed out of the way. But hopefully I can just plop out the old one, get the new one in, and it shouldn't be a big deal. I've never done one before though, so I don't know, we'll see. Alright, so this is the cable that we got from Lexus, and as you can see, it's tiny. This thing, there's no cable here. This was $102. So a couple things we can see. We've got our plain cable that goes into the handbrake with this threaded end right here, and then this goes out of what I'm assuming is going to be the trans tunnel and hooks up to the other 2 brake cables down there, which means we're gonna have to lift the car up. All right, I got the old girl up in the air. Let's take a look under it. So, I like to take a good amount of time just to make sure I don't have any leaks or anything like that. As you can see, the entire thing is bone dry. You will never see this on an IS300. I swear to God, it is so difficult to keep these things dry and not leaking. And you know, I'm just the coolest person that ever lived. Fortunatos look delicious. My brakes look delicious. They could be a little less dusty, of course. I really need to get rid of this exhaust because I've got the PO420 right now, which means that this cat, that cat, and the one up there are pretty much bad, but I don't really want to buy cats. But right over here, let's see if we can get a good little vision. That's the cable we're looking for. Focus, you. Right up there, you can see the left side is the main cable coming out of the car, and then we've got the 2 cables coming, one on that side and one over here on this side. That's not going to focus ever. It looks like it shouldn't be too hard. I might pull the drive shaft down just so I can give myself a little bit of room, but I don't think that really anything needs to come off. So I'm figuring out that the exhaust is quite a bit in the way. I don't know if it's like this with stock exhaust, but this big ass 3-inch is definitely in the way of getting that cable out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop these mounts, and hopefully that'll give us enough room to get a socket at least up there and get the drive shaft moving out of the way. We'll see. Jesus Christ. It's actually going to be super easy. I don't even think that I need to pull the drive shaft off for that, but this helps me show you guys a little bit better what's going on, so when you guys do it, you guys don't have to do any of this. But this looks like it's going to be cake. Now that we got the drive shaft out, we can kind of see how that cable goes into that holder. You can see it's got that little nub that goes into it that looks like if we just turn it 90 degrees, it should be able to come out of it. So we'll just need to unbolt the 2 bolts at the front that are holding it in from the inside, then push the cable in, rotate it 90 degrees, and pull it out. And that should be all we need to do to get that thing out of there. So from the looks of it, I'm going to need to take off this little section on the center console. So let's get that all taken apart. So fucking 12. Okay, so right under here we can almost see where our e-brake broke. Right there is the end of our e-brake. Right here is where we have to take it out of the tunnel. I'm gonna go ahead and take this big bracket off. It looks like just some 10s, and then we should have access to the e-brake cable. So I found a fat puddle of what looks like, I don't know, maybe dried soda or something like that. It's gross. I'm gonna have to clean this thing out. Ugh. So I just pushed the cable all the way through that bracket. It looks like the boot was kind of the only thing holding it on, so I scrunched the boot back a little bit, pushed it through, then got it to 90 degrees and then just pulled it out. We can really see the amount of damage that these biceps can cause, so make sure to hit the like button so these biceps don't pay a visit to your e-brake cable. When I was throwing it in, I made the mistake of not threading it under my carpet, which was an issue I had to correct later. So if you're watching this video, make sure to do that first, because I had to do the entire thing over again after I already installed it. Now after the cable's installed, I just gotta throw the exhaust and the drive shaft back up, and we should be all buttoned up. The new cable doesn't come with any of the nuts that you need to install it into the parking brake handle, so I just had to grab the 2 lock nuts off of the old cable and transfer them onto the new one and just get them nice and tight. Alright, so the new cable is installed, and I didn't max it out like they did on the old cable, so that means I have to adjust the parking brake at the back again. But I'm not gonna film that because you guys literally saw me do that yesterday. So just go click on the last video if you don't know how to do it. I'm gonna get that done, and then we might be able to get our pizza. Oh, I'm so stoked. All right, the car's back on the ground, so now all I have to do is get the interior back together and we should be done. So in 3, 2, 1. And just like that, we are all back together. I went ahead and took the time to clean all of this stuff. It's so nice to be able to take the dash apart and just clean every single piece, because everything gets so dusty and you can't always get to everything. So it's nice to be able to take it all apart. Now it's time for the real moment of truth. This was supposed to happen the other day, but apparently I'm too freaking jacked. Just couldn't do it without breaking. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's tight. Nice. And this one hopefully will last me a little bit longer than the last one did. But I'm gonna get some pizza and let's put this thing to the test. Alright boys, it's official. This is the first drive with a functioning e-brake, at least hopefully. So, I mean, we gotta make sure it works, right? Yes sir! We're back in business, baby! Oh, she locks hard. She locks so hard! That is perfect. I am so stoked. So, now we've got our e-brake adjusted, a brand new cable in there so I don't have to be scared of breaking it, and most importantly, we can get some pizza. Just getting to the pizza shop. Moment of truth. Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? E-brake works. Let's go get some fucking pizza.
Driving round in California, looking for something to make